Hey Wastrels, Caedo here. Really quick, my audio was kind of jacked up and I was peaking really bad in this recording for the episode. It does get a little better later on, especially in the topic, but I did what I could. Please bear with me, and on to the PIPCAST.
PIPCAST 3000 is a bi-weekly podcast where we talk about gaming news, gaming in general, and Fallout, sometimes with a special guest. Every other Sunday, 10 a.m. Pacific. Even when I'm reading it out straight from there, I screw it up. Oh god. Hello everyone, and welcome to the PIPCAST. It's a podcast. What, we're at like 98 by now? You know what this is.
Episode 98.
Yep, let's get going. What's the comment of the cast, someone?
Oh man, I like this.
I'm Caedo, who just did the intro gracefully as Sarge, and also Jarhead Gaming.
Hi.
This is our messy intro. I was sick, so we skipped a week, and now we're catching up on the news and the topic and stuff like that. There's a lot of things that are being announced and whatnot. Our topic is going to be the gamer lists, 10 small details in Skyrim we love. But before we get to that, yes, Sarge, someone will have to read the comment of the cast. Looks at Jared.
Oh yeah, I'll do that. Is this all one thing?
It's two separate
really
comments.
cool.
Just pick which one you guess the guy like. Oh,
Oh yeah, there is another one that's just really, I didn't even notice the text was so small. I'm gonna go with the second one because it's not so small and easier to read. Harvey Wiggins 2 weeks ago said, "Best left forgotten." In parentheses, the simulation quest in Far Harbor. I remember being wow. Now you see, Sarge's inability to speak is spread to me. I remember being just too long, and it's not a nice looking area either. Do you want me to read your response and Steele's as well?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
But this is referring to, thank you to Harvey Wiggins. This is referring to the last topic that we had. If any of you remember, we talked about the worst quests in Fallout, and he brought up the Minecraft weird simulation thing that you do for Dima in Far Harbor, that nobody likes. I have yet to find someone who actually enjoyed it.
yeah, I think it's specifically like stages 4 and 5 which ruin it. If it was only 3 stages, then I think it would be seen as okay, because the first 3 aren't like ridiculous. They're just like, oh, okay, there's a bit of a puzzle here. You can get through them quickly enough. But 4 and 5 take a long time and are just so annoying that, yeah. I mean, Caedo said in his comments, speaking of blocked out quests, that's one I definitely did, and I feel like we've all blocked it out of our memory because it sucks.
Yep.
Like, so many people talk about Far Harbor as like the best Fallout 4 DLC, but we all just collectively forget about the horrible Dima section.
It's refusing to believe anything negative about Far Harbor, just blocking out the things that are. Yeah, I think that's that could be like a New Vegas effect too, I think. How about some news? Let's talk about some newsy stuff that is happening.
Yes.
A lot of announcements and trailers and stuff. I tried not to get, like, I even removed the id Software versus what Doom composer, what's his name? Immersion.
I know what you're on about, but I don't know his name.
All the comments are gonna be his name.
Cool, leave it. They know it then. We don't need to say it, it's fine.
Okay, all right, fine. That drama that it still just continues, and the Activision Microsoft acquisition that Sony is super against because of Call of Duty. Like both of those, like they're all over gaming news, and I'm like, these are also like in some cases with the composer stuff, like nuanced and complicated and stuff, and I just didn't feel like talking about them.
Yeah, I mean, neither have reached a conclusion,
and neither reached a conclusion, right? So I just kind of left those out. So we're not blatantly ignoring those topics. I just wanted to like throw that out there. I'm just not including them because of what Sarge just said.
Mick Gordon.
But Mick Gordon, thank you. Did you look it up?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first thing in the news, though, is a game trailer that I saw called Blight Survival. It looks like a medieval dark fantasy, zombie survival game. So if you're all about that vibe, yeah,
It looks cool.
I think it
Yeah.
sucks. Ha!
Is it because it's third person?
It is third person. Terrible. No,
Should have known.
I mean, obviously it's not for me, but it kind of has that feel of a lot of the Sony games, where there's a lot of characters talking and layering on the story that way, and it's third person over the shoulder. There's a lot of emphasis on stealth, but then the action's kind of just crunchy, like, it just, I feel like that's what Sony typically does, and this feels like the same sort of vibe from the trailer.
Yeah, I can see that too, because there's two that come to mind already, and that's God of War and Plague Tale, which are both like third person over the shoulder. So, yep. Let's see. I was gonna make fun of you because I scrolled down to see if you had any third person games in your what you've been playing, but not this time. Just a strategy game and a My Time in Portia.
Yes.
Is that third person?
Yes.
Curses, Jared, why did you
Yes.
tell him I was going to make him look like an idiot
Because
in 2 hours'
your
time?
suffering sustains me.
My Time at Porsche is kind of third person, but not like this. So, it's not like over the shoulder.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to this though. I think it looks cool. It's kind of definitely up my alley more than you guys. I think.
It might be. Yeah. You gonna play it? You gonna freaking do a little let's play? Action?
I don't know.
Little stream? Maybe.
We're just making noises now.
Something also that might be up your alley is Atomic Heart.
Yes.
It looks like we got a gnarly like boss fight trailer that does get a little repetitive because the player keeps dying a whole bunch, but
You could get good. Huh.
the little animation that plays is different depending on how you died in the game over screen, which is amazing. It's got almost like a Vault Boy-esque death scene, but it's showing the boss just crushing you or destroying you or something like that. It's really funny. But this Atomic Heart is something I've been keeping my eye on, and the more I see of it, the more I can see like some inspiration from something like Wolfenstein alongside like Stalker or Metro, like maybe a little bit of those flavors in there. But it looks like it's got the humor factor in there, like just enough, kind of like Wolfenstein does. But the rest of it is just like gritty and very aesthetically, what would you call this? Like post, like retro future Russia?
Yeah.
Retro future USSR? Something like that.
I mean, it's very much got like the grey wash look to it.
Mm-hmm.
Which...
Or Bioshocky too. Like maybe that's, yeah. There's probably some of that in there too.
Definitely see that.
But it's called Atomic Heart, so I'm guessing it's all atomic power and that kind of vibe. This boss fight trailer just shows how much fun you can have, I guess, in those boss fights and how challenging they are. And I'm, despite someone who, if I die probably about 4, 5, 6 times in a boss fight, I start getting mad at the game. And then I stop. Usually. So if it's that kind of brutality, I don't know if it would be my thing, because like there's some games that I do enjoy, like Monster Hunter and stuff like that. But when it gets in the like Dark Souls realm of like repetition, you keep losing for like 3, 4, 5 hours. I don't know. I don't know about that.
Hopefully it's not Souls-like.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not that level of difficulty. But it's not third person, so Sarge, I expect to hear what you have to say about it when it comes out.
I mean, I'm probably not going to play it when it comes out. So...
Because it might be around the same time as Starfield.
Well, it will cost money.
That too.
Yeah, I don't buy games anymore.
It's going to be on Xbox One and Xbox Series S, so it might be on Game Pass, though.
If it comes out on Game Pass, then I'll try it. Yeah, I'm pretty ambivalent about this one, to be honest with you. Like, I feel like with a lot of first-person shooters, unless there's something that really gets my attention, it's the kind of thing where until you play out and feel what the gunplay's like, can't really be too decided.
Okay, that's fair. Well, if we're talking about games that are cool and novel and interesting and different, we got another story about, what is this thing? Jeff Gardiner?
You just called Jeff Gardiner a thing? Come on, man, at least say this person.
What is this article? And then leading into Jeff Gardiner. My brain jumps. Sorry.
The article...
I'm sorry, Jeff Gardiner, for calling you a thing.
It's on Game Developer, and it's building a 21st century AAA studio in an officeless world, which is talking about Jeff Gardiner, the Bethesda veteran, who has founded his own studio, Something Wicked Games, where they're working on Weird Song, which we've mentioned a couple of times before.
Yep. And they have a little animated teaser, and that's it.
Yeah, they're still very much in early development. But yeah, they've been trying to build... or he's been trying to build a studio that's a little bit different.
How different is it, Sarge?
A little bit. It's a long article, alright.
Yeah.
Look, there's big sections about like finding common ground, and there's a bit about a Shakespeare quote in here. It's very long. Basically, it's trying to make a studio that's very good, that's authentic, that just doesn't worry too much about schedules, that's all like cool and super hip, yo.
Jeez.
And also able to be easily remote?
Yeah. He's trying to make something that doesn't fit into the standard, like, big office kind of vibe that a lot of game development is now. Just more of a, hey, we're a small-ish team, can all get on with each other. I know they've regularly been playing Chivalry 2 recently, as, like, part of their workload is just, we play some games together.
Oh.
Yeah, which is very much meant to just, like, do the team building thing without it being the standard team building thing. Just like, hey, we all enjoy games, we want to make games, let's play games together, this will probably help, which is fair. And it seems that's very much kind of the attitude going into this. Make it a job that's fun, that everyone can get on with each other, that lets the creativity flow, and just have a bit of a good time while making games you really want to make.
I like that.
Me too. Well, while we're waiting for this game to be made, Weird Song, we're also waiting for a lot of games to come out and or be awarded at the Game Awards, and also see some premieres maybe.
Yeah.
That's why I usually watch it, is for the premieres more so than... Because we all know that the Game Awards is weighted in like what people have played, those who are voting, especially like the panel of judges per se. Like they don't play all the games that they vote on, so like it's definitely going to be a biased thing no matter what. But on the upside, it brings attention to games that you may not have heard about or seen or really thought about playing, and it also shows some pretty wicked premieres for upcoming stuff. I want to go over the nominees of Game of the Year really quick, even though most of these will make a lot of sense. The nominees for Game of the Year are Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, and Xenoblade Chronicles.
Free.
What?
Xenoblade Chronicles free.
Xenoblade Chronicles 3, sorry.
Not the first
yes.
one.
Thank you.
Although, Elden Ring, did that really come out this year?
Yep. Beginning of this year.
Now, nobody take this the wrong way. I feel like the game's fallen off a fair bit considering that then.
It has.
Like, not in the game sucks now or anything, but just the sheer amount of coverage it got for like a solid 4 or 5 months. And now it almost gets referenced like it's an old game.
I don't know. I hear people in my chat or my Discord talk about it still occasionally.
That is literally the only place I hear it being talked about.
But it could be one of those things where like FromSoft fans have the variety that, or close to the variety of what like people who like Fallout have or the Elder Scrolls have and stuff like that now. So like even though they're not playing Elden Ring, they're probably going back and playing Bloodborne or Dark Souls or whatever else, or Sekiro. Like they're they may just be on rotation or waiting for whatever the DLC announcement that may happen, I mean, at the Game Awards for Elden Ring, and that'll boost it back up again. But for a long while, like Elden Ring was one of those games that also lasted a while in the news, which was nice.
That's kind of what I was hinting at, or getting towards, was that it was huge, like crazy huge. Like if this happened 6 months ago, it would 100% be the game of the year.
Mm-hmm.
But it felt like it was very high up and then had a real sharp, real quick drop off, rather than more of a gradual decline.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I don't know.
I also want to complain that these are third-person games exclusively, and that it's very much like, oh, do you like your narrative third-person Sony stuff? Like,
do you?
No, I don't. I don't like it. So yeah,
you're gonna like it.
I enjoy none of these games of the year.
Well, that's a bummer.
Yep. My game of the year is none of them.
I only played one of them, so.
If Stray's main character was a dog, would you nominate that one?
Not really.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm honestly a bit surprised to see Stray here.
I am too. It's the one thing that doesn't quite fit.
Yeah. Like, you've got 4 of the more narrative, open world story things, although Elden Ring's a bit outside that, because it's, like, more deep lore rather than people just telling you stuff constantly.
Yeah.
And then you've got, like, the JRPG at the end. And then there's Stray, which... Is Stray like the indie choice? Is that
I was going to say, I think it's the indie choice.
I think it, yeah.
Yeah.
I think they have to by obligation, like because they're trying to get indies more involved with the Game Awards. Yeah. Maybe it's that.
I will say
which
that
is good.
Stray is probably one of the better indie games. Like almost doesn't feel like an indie game. It's so well polished and everything.
I agree. I enjoyed playing through it. It was a fun little experience. But I played 2 of the games on this list, and Horizon Forbidden West probably would not get my Game of the Year vote. So, yeah.
Does it suck? Is it the worst game ever? Is it garbage and everyone throw out their copy right away?
No,
That's a yes, everyone. Caedo pause. That's a yes. Burn your copies right now.
It came down to the gameplay. The gameplay started getting really bland, and I just wanted the game to be over.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't experience that in an open world.
No. For my money, I figure this is going to be between Elden Ring and God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah,
I think Elden Ring's probably the most popular out of these ones here, but God of War Ragnarok will have recency bias because it's only just come out.
That's true. So that's probably going to be a coin flip too.
Yep.
Google, flip that coin.
No, don't.
I've been hearing really good things about Ragnarok, and I want to play it.
I'm going to wait for the PC release.
But I've been playing other things, gosh dang it.
Alright, do we want to go over any of the other categories?
Do you, Sarge?
I mean, I want to point out that a lot of the, Game of the Years just show up again and again and again in the major categories.
Yeah, they do.
With, a game or 2 thrown in. Like, Immortality gets thrown into the next one, Scorn gets thrown into one alongside just Game of the Year stuff. Best score of music is Game of the Year, but Metal Hellsinger instead of Stray. It's very much just, here's the Game of the Years, plus a couple of other decent things. For a lot of the categories. There was literally only one thing where I'd vote on it, and it's Games for Impact, which is for a thought-provoking game with a pro-social meaning or message. just means artsy, basically. And it's got Citizen Sleeper on the list, which I do love, to be fair. But, yeah.
Best debut indie is a good... I like that category. Because that's best debut game created by a new independent studio.
Best debut indie? I don't even see that. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah.
It's down at the end. Oh, Stray's in there.
Yep. Stray, Tunic, Vampire Survivors. Vampire Survivors is probably going to win.
People have been talking about Vampire Survivors a lot.
That's... Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Neon White and Norco. Not familiar with those games, but... Yeah. Vampire Survivors, for sure. I'm not touching that game because I know myself too well. I've already become re-addicted to something else, so...
I will say most anticipated games, Starfield is on that list, which is most anticipated for me. But it's also got Final Fantasy, Resident Evil, Legend of Zelda, and a Hogwarts game, which really feels like it's going hard on like the fan communities.
Yeah, of course. I mean, FF7 Rebirth. Is it Rebirth? I always forget that. Not Rebirth. Freaking Reunion? But what of the Crisis Core remake? Did I even put that in here? No, I didn't. Whatever. No. Shall we move on?
Let's move on.
Let's.
Are we moving on to the greatest game of all time ever, for always?
Yeah. So let me get this straight. Forspoken had another trailer showing off the world of Athia. I just want to play this game, man. They've been dropping so many trailers that I'm getting a little trailer fatigue. Forspoken is supposed to come out January 24th. And it's not even December.
I mean, it's 2 months away, basically.
Yeah, but they've put out, I want to say, like 5 meaty trailers.
I mean,
like
I wouldn't
showing
be
off.
surprised if a lot of it was damage control for the initial trailer.
Could be damage control, could be like just the need for pre-orders too, or something like that. Yeah, that's how big companies get their money and blow it on stuff that they don't have the money for yet. I want to play Forspoken, and I think other people who like open world action third person may enjoy this game, but we have to see it. We got to play it. We got to get our hands on it on January 24th.
It's still very, very much at the bottom of my games I want to play list, though.
What games do you want to play?
It's not important.
I mean, while we're ragging on this, I want to complain that I think
I wasn't. Wait, what? I wasn't.
No, we're ragging on it. Deal with it, Caedo. You're outnumbered here. I want to complain that a lot of games seem to be going for look at how realistic these things look. And it's often like, oh, look at how these things kind of look bad and dull. And I feel like a lot of this world looks very just... like, I'm literally on a shot right now with a bunch of flowers, and they look very flat and just dull. There's not a nice, like, vibrancy to it all. The water's, like, just greying a bit.
So are you worried about the a bit of a Outer Worlds effect?
No. I don't know. Outer Worlds, I think, had a bit of vibrancy to it. Like, I wouldn't put it up as a great game in terms of, like, visually, but I feel like a lot of games now, where they're being like, oh, look how hyper-realistic this is, while also not actually looking realistic, because the real world looks like the real world. Just, there seems to be very, like, flat and bland, and everything feels a bit washed out, and just not interesting to look at. Like, if you pause just any of the screenshots of this game, there's a nice sky at one point, but for the most part, it looks a bit...
Yeah.
I guess I can see that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was talking about the Outer Worlds because their usage of brown should be illegal.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of brown in this game too, so...
Yeah, I mean, I paused it on a scene where everything is brown besides the HUD.
There's my trash talk on Forspoken, you're welcome.
Yeah.
We got him.
Oh wait, there's some purple. I saw some purple.
Yeah, but there's a purple sky which looks kind of nice.
And purple dungeon? Or something? The locked labyrinths? I don't know.
Alright. Well, a game that is like a fancy world, but shows that you can have a vibrant one while still keeping it kind of bleak and
A
darker
game that
places.
can be purple.
I can't believe you ruined my transition with that. Go on, Caedo. No, go on. You can do the rest of it now.
It was so good.
The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt for next gen, free next gen update is coming December 14th.
If you already own the game.
If you already own the game.
Yes.
Not just free, but
No.
free if you free update.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to see how this goes. I know I've had problems like streaming and recording Witcher 3 a bit in the past. Computer seems to just not like it. So I'm curious if this will make it better. Interested
Or worse.
to see. Yeah. Interested to just see what it's like.
I've played Cyberpunk recently.
I am much more interested in the Fallout 4 free next gen update, obviously, but that's not till sometime next year. And this one actually has a date, which I very much appreciate. To hear that, developers and publishers and stuff, if you're going to make a next gen update, give us the date along with the announcement. Otherwise, keep it quiet till then. Please.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
just give us vague, it'll come at some point, while you're also bringing out multiple other games at some point.
Yeah.
I'm in a ranty mood.
I can tell. Yeah. Maybe they're trying to bring back a little bit of goodwill. CD Projekt Red? Maybe perhaps.
Quite possibly.
Wonder if that's a plan. Same with the remaster of the first Witcher game that they announced as well. That was the Canis something or other codenamed project. They revealed that as a Witcher 1 remake. But it sounded like they were having another studio do it under their publishing. So yeah, we have things to look forward to, I guess.
I'm looking forward to that.
The level of quality, we don't know yet. I hope that other people will get their hands on the Witcher 1 story and be able to play it, because the original is real clunky.
Yes. Oh, yes.
I played through it one time. Don't want to do it again.
I played through it multiple times back because it was the only one. There wasn't a Witcher 2 or a 3 at the time.
Yeah.
So all I had was Witcher 1 and didn't know any better. So I played through it several times because, that's what you do.
Yeah. Yep. Another thing is Midnight Suns. Finally, we have a release date, which is December 2nd. Not far from now, actually.
No.
About
It is a week
5
away.
5 or so days. Yeah. And this is the strategy, turn-based strategy by Firaxis involving Marvel superheroes, Marvel's Midnight Suns, including faces such as Wolverine and Spider-Man and Ghost Rider and Iron Man and Captain America. Quite a few heroes, all in one place. Oh, Blade. Also, Blade's a big one.
Blade.
Because he hasn't been in like anything for how long?
Since the movies, I guess.
Yeah, maybe since the movie license game. I'm sure there was one without even looking.
I'm sure there was.
Since this is by the XCOM developers, like I have fairly high hopes for it, but it's not getting much media coverage because the mechanics of the game aren't particularly easy to explain, and card systems of any kind easily turn people off. Like, people are seemingly so over card game aesthetics mixed with anything else that they just they say no, I have no interest in that if it's got cards, which is a bummer because this is another one I'm hopeful for. I'm a little hopelessly optimistic for whatever they make next, but I'm sure I'll let you all know because I'm probably going to play it.
What?
Yeah, because I'm a huge XCOM fan. So if this is the next thing that they make, sure, I'll give it a shot. And I wanna stab stuff with Wolverine's claws and do a combo off of Blade's, I don't know, blade.
Yeah.
and then bounce Cap's shield through Blade's blade, and then into Iron Man and his
Iron Man.
His Iron Man. I feel like I'm a kindergartner just talking about superheroes at this point.
Yeah.
I am a kindergartner.
It's okay.
Okay, so there's a whole bunch. There's a PC gaming show from PC Gamer also that happened, and they showed so many trailers of so many different games. So if you're looking for that little taste of premieres of new things coming through, they showed a lot for a game called Floodland, Solium Infernum, Cygnus Enterprises, The Great War Western Front, Endless Dungeon, Superfuse. That's the game that I played at PAX and it crashed, but I still want to play it. Clash Artifacts of Chaos, Aska. I think Aska is the really cool like Norse inspired action game that I wanted to play. But yeah, if you go like a week back and then just look through all of the different PC gaming show trailers, like there's a lot of different genres of games to look through, and I highly recommend it. Add some more stuff to that wish list that you won't get to. I didn't link anything for the Darktide thing, but Darktide's got a open beta thing going right now.
Yeah, it's been going on.
I tried it and then I refunded it.
Oh.
Dang.
It's a little rough still.
I've read online about bugs and crashes and stuff, and lots of love for the Ogrins, but also
The Ogrins are
crashes.
great. That's the character I made, of course.
Yeah.
I named him K-Dum. But
Yep.
each time I launched the game, whenever I went into the first mission, it would crash. And also it wouldn't save control settings. So I would have to constantly go into controls and set toggle crouch on and toggle sprint on. And if you're playing on a controller, you don't want to hold down the stick to sprint. And that's a game where you got to move fast. And I didn't like it. That I had to keep going to my options, especially in the middle of a session, to try and jostle around. Because sometimes it would say that it's still set, but you'd have to toggle it again for it to set. So like there's still some roughness there. On the gameplay side, like it was fine, but I didn't have the patience to get much further because of the crashes and the issues with controls.
Yeah.
Just, maybe a lack of patience on my part, but when a game crashes twice in the 2 days that I've tried it, I no. crashes twice in the starting mission that I'm going into that day. Like imagine just hitting like load game and your game just crashing. Like not a fan. But aside from that, I know that it's Fat Shark and they made, Vermintide, and it's incredible and awesome and fun to play with your friends like Jared and Sarge and Eddie. So I know Darktide's going to be cool, and there's a whole crap ton of lore there that they're like just drizzling all over everything. But I'm waiting patiently for that.
I play another fantasy Warhammer game with a buddy of mine who's big into 40k. I think he's at like a tournament for it or something this weekend.
Ooh.
And on a near weekly basis, he's been telling me like super in-depth details about the Horus Heresy and the Primarchs and like Alpha Legion and just stuff that, as someone who's even read a bunch of the Horus Heresy books, doesn't even get it. So,
Wow.
There's so much 40k lore. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's great. Something that's also crazy is Thanksgiving happened here in the U.S.
Yeah.
Didn't it, Jared?
It did.
Did it happen?
Yeah.
I don't know. I was sick.
I was not. got the day off from work. I still got paid for it, and I got to go eat food.
Nice.
Nice.
And, yeah, it was pretty nice.
My feast was a steady supply of cold medicine.
Well, that's a bummer. I don't know what else to say, man.
I'm not really complaining either because I was just playing video games and
Yeah.
like going through several boxes of tissues. Just you know how it goes.
Yeah. I certainly do.
But anyway, so Black Friday just occurred, but Cyber Monday, the following Monday, also is like the dedicated Super Black Friday of gamers and electronic things users. So PC Gamer did this handy little Cyber Monday buyer's guide on like who to check with for the best PC gaming deals. If you're tired of owning a console and just playing on a console and you want some new hardware, or you already have a PC and you want to upgrade, this article has a great example or great links to new RTX cards, different PC builds for different budgets, peripherals, of course, headphones, mice, keyboards, RAM, storage, all kinds of stuff. So if you're looking to upgrade, this is around the time I do. I'm going to be getting myself a 4K monitor somewhere, probably, because I need to change from a 1440p monitor because I think it's messing with some of the games I want to play and record. So,
see, I've been thinking about upgrading to a 1440p because I still have a 1080p, and it's like 60 hertz, so it's old, and I'd like to get something with a little bit more higher refresh rate, a little bit of the good, you know what I'm saying? And this might be the time to do it.
Yeah, no, it is the time to do it because you get a discount.
We'll see.
Everybody likes a discount.
We'll see. It depends on what's available, what's on sale. I can do my research, man. You know.
Yeah. Not just that though. Like Christmas is coming up. If you're giving gifts to people, like why not get your gifts at a discount if they want something electronic?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Give it a try. Take a look. There's so many. There's so many links. Our news is done.
Nice.
It's so done. Something else we'll probably be done with is this gamer article after we look through it. I'm gonna be so sad if like this one Williams Strife wasn't here for, and it's just god awful.
I can already tell. As I mentioned, I think I originally suggested this one just because of the picture.
You did.
The first picture, I'm just like, yep, it's gonna be a good one.
Mods fix your game. Fix the game. Why don't you introduce what our topic is, Jared? Since you were so gracious to provide this link.
Okay, I'm just gonna read it.
Okay.
So this wonderful article by our good friends, the Gamer, whom of which provided us so many great topics to talk about and articles to peruse. This one in particular is called 10 Small Details in Skyrim We Love. And I'm sure we're going to agree with every single point, right guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unison, I like it. Let's see,
I agree with everything.
I know you do.
Yep.
Yeah. After exploring the province of Skyrim for years, it's safe to say you've seen it all. From the good, the bad, and the ugly, whether you finished the main story or turned into a chicken menace out of sheer boredom. Because I know I've done that. Right? There's admittedly many small things to love about this decade-old franchise.
Oh God, don't say that.
Yes, it's actually more than that. It's 11 years, I think, isn't it?
I mean, they say decade-old franchise, so they're talking about the Elder Scrolls there, which is decades old.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I know it's a very minor nitpick. But
Yeah. Good
I'm
point.
starting off strong.
Yes.
No, Skyrim is a franchise. It's just Skyrim, obviously.
To be fair, I think Skyrim could be a franchise. There's how many releases of the game? It's
It
its
is.
own franchise. Wow.
It's got its own merch. It's got its own spin-off board games and crap. Like it's a franchise.
I would play a D&D Skyrim.
I would too.
That'd be cool. Anyways.
Yeah. Let's tell Sean.
I'm doing it right now. Actually, not. Should we just start in with the lists?
I mean, before we start with the list, I do want to complain about the header image, which is just like 3 slightly modded things.
Yeah.
One is just a Khajiit dude. Another
Yeah.
one is a bookshelf which says activate Estante.
Yeah.
Or activar Estante. And the other one's sexy lady with broken spine.
That's why I chose this. Because that's definitely a nice small detail from Skyrim I know everyone loves is sexy broken spine lady.
Sexy lady with broken spine. Yep.
Yeah.
That's why I play Skyrim.
Yeah.
It's the most popular mod.
It definitely is.
Yeah. That they had to get the clickbait somewhere. And
They did.
That's
they
it.
Did.
That's it.
Alright, so number 10, freedom to choose who you want to be. You are not only given the option to choose who you want to be at the start of the game, but you're also given multiple options to choose your affiliations and ideals. Whether you want to be a Stormcloak, an Imperial, or something outside those two is up to you. Hold up, kiddo. There's one more paragraph. You can be who you want to be, and choosing who you want to be will change your overall experience of the game in comparison to other players. Over time, you might even be given a chance to abandon your humanity to be a vampire and be virtually immune to poison.
I'm glad they added that last little
That's
part.
that's
Yeah, that's
weird.
a very
That's a
important
weird.
final thing to add in.
Off the top of your head, how many creatures in Skyrim poison you?
Falmer, frostbite spiders.
Yeah.
So just 2.
I mean, the poison can be nasty.
Yeah. So can they could have been like, so you can have fire or frost resistance at 50%. Like they could have put that too. That is way more universally useful.
I mean, this came out in like 2022 as well. So they could have said so that you can like become a vampire lord who can just like fly around and summon bats and teleport and stuff.
And force choke.
Yeah, rather than just and you don't take poison damage, which feels like a very boring like thing to point out. Like
Yep.
it's useful, sure, but it's like I can teleport. I don't get hurt by spiders as much. Okay,
Yes.
what was the thing you wanted to grumble about with the whether you want to be a Stormcloak and Imperial or something outside those two?
You're not only given the option to choose who you want to be at the start of the game, but you're also given multiple options to choose your affiliations and ideals. That makes it sound like you choose that at the beginning of the game,
Yeah.
which not really. Like, you choose who to escape with, but that doesn't really change like who you can side with in the Civil War. They just say different things.
Yeah.
You can still, like, if you escape with like Rayloff, you can still join the Imperials. Like,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, I do think the wording of this does very much make it seem like it's a part of the character creator choosing a ton of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, technically the point is solid. Skyrim is a very good game for giving you freedom and joining like different factions and kind of playing your own way, sort of thing.
But the title is 10 small details in Skyrim.
Oh, what? You think the entire game isn't a small detail?
I think the entire game plus character creation is not a small detail. That's an essential detail.
Wow.
But also, do you really get to choose? Because regardless of what race you choose, and regardless if you choose the Stormcloaks or the Imperials, you're still the Dragonborn.
No, you don't have to be. You can just not do the Bleak Falls Barrow quest.
Yeah, but you're
Yeah.
still technically the Dragonborn. You just
I mean,
haven't.
never
You just
find out
haven't
you're the
triggered the
Dragonborn or
quest.
anything. Yeah, but you're also the listener, but you don't do that if you don't do the Dark Brotherhood stuff. I think Skyrim very much does. There's 2 like key parts of freedom within video games. One is more so the choose your dialogue, choose your ending kind of thing, and the other one is just complete openness. And Skyrim does much more of a complete openness, which is You can go and do this stuff, or you can not do this stuff and do something else entirely. Which is Skyrim's whole kind of thing.
Well, that's that one. I disagree that it's a small detail.
Don't worry, you can read out number 9, which is going to be a very small detail. Barely noticeable when you normally play the game.
Such a small detail. Okay, cool. Realistic skill mastery is number 9. Unlike other games that don't have anything experience related to advancing your character, Skyrim makes you use the skill you want to master in the game as much as possible. To be a master lockpicker, you'll have to lockpick again and again. The same goes for archery, heavy armor, or any other skill you want to be a god at in the game. Practice makes perfect after all. At least that's what you tell yourself as you pick your 100th lock, which still ironically snaps.
Good one.
Just get the skeleton key.
The leveling system, how leveling works.
Just a small detail.
Minute, even.
Yep.
Barely
I mean,
noticeable.
level by doing is something that lots of people like.
I do.
I'm somewhat split on it. There's parts I like, parts I don't like, but overall I don't think it's a bad system at all.
And Skyrim's is incredibly streamlined too, compared to, Oblivion.
Yeah.
Which people complain about Oblivion just like how they complain about Skyrim, which is the whole dumbing down thing. But man, is Skyrim's leveling system so approachable. And you can still cater your build to whatever role you're trying to play. So
yeah,
as long as that's intact, I don't complain too much about Skyrim's leveling system. I complain about Fallout 4's.
Really? What for?
What for? Because you just drop points into freaking all of your attributes and perks infinitely.
Oh, what? Wait, but you can do the same in Skyrim because there's not a level cap.
Oh, that's true, but there's also the trees are not trees in Fallout 4. They're a linear path that you have to follow.
So it's a visual thing.
It's not just a visual thing, because if you're following under, it's based on attributes instead of skills.
Yeah, Fallout 4 doesn't have skills.
The perks that you can get are based on the attributes tied to them, and only if you increase those attributes, which is not by doing, but instead by just leveling up. So they're completely different systems, is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
But also,
I thought you were choosing Fallout 4 for a super specific thing, but it's just the level by XP versus level by
eventually going to get to the whole perception and needing 4, 5, 6 perception for Demolition Expert, which always makes me mad and I rant about all the time.
Okay.
So I think it's 6.
I think it's 4 or 5.
I took my poster down. I can't see it.
Let me check.
Oh, it's right over here.
It is 5.
Yeah.
You get 2 as default, so you don't have to put 3 in. I say 2 as default. You always start with 1. Perception bobblehead's easy. So there's a few points to spend on there.
Oh, that's true, huh? But still, explosives unarmed is gosh dang annoying to make in Fallout 4 at the start.
No, the bigger problem there isn't the explosives, Caedo. It's the lack of unarmed weapons. It's
you got a good
problem
point.
with your favourite build.
That too. Anyway, I'm salty about Fallout 4's leveling system, but I like Skyrim's.
Okay.
And I should also mention that there's other games that have skill building systems that are kind of you use the skill, you level it up. One of which I guess Cyberpunk could count too.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk has a skill learning system. Kenshi has a learning system. Valheim has a learning system, but also a 5% penalty when you die. Valheim's a little more hardcore than the rest of them. And did I say Oblivion?
We mentioned Oblivion earlier.
Okay, yeah. So there's a few. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, this is the perfect one for Jared.
I know.
Right, Jared?
It's
perfect. What's number 8?
We couldn't have planned it to be more perfect. Number 8. You could modify the game in almost any way you can imagine. Oh my god! Fix the game with the mouse. Which actually, the picture does make a bit more sense now, since they're mentioning modding as a small detail.
Sexy broken spine lady is on the
She makes more sense. You can't mention the joy of Skyrim without considering modifications. I appreciate the entire word usage.
Yeah.
It feels so weird.
It really
It
does.
does.
It really does.
Modifications fix your game.
That's.
It doesn't.
I'm gonna download some new Skyrim modifications today.
Can we make it a plan just to say the entire word out like all the time now? Can we do that?
I don't know if I could be bothered. That sounds like a lot of work to remember. If you'd like to enhance your gameplay, you can add additional noise. Hold up. You can add additional noises to the game to make it even more
You're
real.
reading it right.
I know I'm reading it right, but my brain's telling me that it's wrong. If you're not satisfied with the lighting sources, it's listing very specific modifications. Okay, if you're not satisfied with the lighting sources in the game, fret not. Even that has a mod you can download. If you're unsatisfied with the character, you can modify how they look. One of the more popular mods is one where Serana's appearance can be altered, even if you technically turn her into a partner without even more mods. I feel
This
dumber.
is such a weird one. Yeah.
I feel dumber after reading that.
Like, mods add so much to the game, and yet they're like, more noises, different lighting. What?
The
How
noises.
is that where you start with modding?
The noises, man. I don't know about that. I mean, there are some
because
noise
Drawing
mods.
your sword gave a different sound. Oh, mods are there for that.
This came out in October, which was certainly around the time that the Nemesis System mod came out, right?
Maybe?
Probably.
They could have just name dropped that and been like, you can put an entire system from a different game into this game.
Yeah, the game's been modded for over a decade now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's plenty of interesting mods to talk about.
There is.
Yeah.
I mean, and there are some good, like, sound mods that just add, like, ambient sounds and stuff. That's definitely a very small, noticeable type of a thing.
I mean, it is technically a small detail, I guess.
Yeah, that specifically is, I guess.
Yeah, although the title being you can modify the game in almost any way you can imagine is another huge detail.
Yeah. And even that's not entirely accurate because I mean you're still limited to the imagination of other people unless you are actually making the mods yourself, which is a completely different, process and beast in of itself. Yeah.
The ability to modify the game, is that a small detail?
No, but it's another huge part of it. Like, I guess technically a smaller part than the entire skill system and the entire game, basically. But only in relative terms.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a weird
Okay.
one. Number 7. Books have different genres. Books aren't just there because of their in-game benefits. They also exist for entertainment. If you're looking for books that can enhance your skills, there are books for that. If you like magic, there are spell tomes that can only be read once before they mysteriously vanish. If you're just looking to pass the time, you can read books that exist just for some additional lore. Many of these books are rather entertaining, like Kolb and the Dragon, an in-game choose-your-own-adventure book. As if you're not choosing your adventure already.
I love the tongue-in-cheek.
They use the word books too many times in those, 4 sentences. I just want to say that. I feel like they've gone a bit too broad again with this, because, talking about, Kolb and the Dragon being an in-game choose-your-own-adventure book and how there's lots of lore books, that could be theoretically a small detail.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, hey, there's all of these books that are written that even though typically you won't go through, you can read and learn a bit more lore and have fun with and stuff like that. But them throwing in spell tomes and skill books as well feels like they're just casting the net a little too wide.
It's a weird title for that too, is books have different genres. They could just you can sit back and read a book.
Yep.
Or something along those lines. Books have different genres makes it weird because I was expecting a whole bunch of genres to be said, but they're not. The genres are skill books, and regular books, and those aren't genres. Small detail. That is kind of a small detail, but I don't know. Didn't really stick the landing for me.
Yeah. I'm looking at the next one already. Caedo, I'm gonna have to ask you to read it out because this is an odd thing.
Huh. Okay.
Yep.
Number 6. Different in-game languages exist. It's showing a picture of that Khajiit. There are so many languages in the game, with Tamrielic being the official language of Tamriel. But because Tamriel is a diverse world, different tribes and races have different languages that these natives speak in the game. This is greatly appreciated detail due to the whopping number of languages present within the game. Although you don't have to learn all languages, it's a nice touch to the world that makes it feel alive. What?
Well, there's the dragon tongue,
Yes.
which some dragons speak in.
Yeah.
In Skyrim, yes, there are dragons. Yes, they speak their own language.
Yeah.
They weren't
Partially, at
mentioned.
least.
They weren't mentioned at all.
No, they weren't really. They show a picture of a Khajiit. I'm trying to think of a single Khajiit word that is spoken. Because I feel like the Dark Elves you can probably do it. I feel like Solstheim there's the odd word here and there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of anything else as well. Like, there's phrases, but they're all in the common tongue, rather than anything specific.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
also the Oblivion language, which is largely
Daedric?
written.
Oh, yeah.
Daedric?
Like Daedric.
Yeah. Sorry, the Oblivion language.
Yeah. That's another one that's not spoken.
Yeah.
The natives do not speak it in the game. Daedra pop out and...
The
they
Dremora
don't
do.
speak it,
They-
do they?
They shouted at you. Yeah.
I thought they always shouted, like, normal language at you. Tamrielic, I'm guessing.
They yeah. They shout.
Is that right?
They shout in Daedric sometimes.
Oh. Okay, that I hadn't noticed. Is one Daedric word Drah? Because I hear them shout that a lot.
Sure. I mean, you have been doing Daedric quests, so I guess you do have the more recent.
Yeah, I've literally fought a
Experience
bunch
with
of
them,
Daedra,
too.
and I don't remember them saying anything, like, in the Daedric tongue. But, yeah, it's... I mean, I guess it is a small detail. They've done a terrible job of describing it, and they're actually claiming that there's a lot more of it than there is. But because they're wrong, it makes their title more right. Which is a weird kind of fail-forward scenario.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
It's a small detail. Well done.
it is. You're making us have to think about it. That's a small detail.
I would say that the Elder Scrolls would actually be more interesting if there was actually a diverse language system from all the different races. In my opinion, to me, it would make it feel like more of a lived-in world. Like, not everyone's freaking speaking English. You know, these creatures from their homeland, they probably speak whatever their home native language is. It's probably not common. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's a mod for that.
Aha.
That's one instance where I doubt there's a mod for that. 'Cause
Yeah,
that feels like so much work. Especially seeing as I'm guessing a lot of the languages within the Elder Scrolls aren't, like, properly created.
Yeah.
It's just like the odd word here and there, more so than actually coming up with grammar rules, figuring out how syntax would work, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
What's Todd Howard doing? God, come on, dude.
Yes. Todd Howard, give us a new language and have people speak it fluently. Also,
Please.
I feel like that would save them time and money on localization, because they would all be speaking that language.
Yeah.
They
And they'd
still
only
have
have
to
to-
do localization.
They would still have to do subtitles, but not voiceover for localization.
Are you expecting, like, the entire game not to have anyone speaking, like, a human language anymore?
Yes. No one speaks a human language.
Oh, dear.
I'll speak in the raw Tamrielic that nobody can understand.
Whoa.
Yep.
I imagine it sounds like Welsh.
Dofrana Kelly.
Oh.
Dang.
Yeah,
Think I
that's
just-
what it'll be like.
I think I just fell in love with you.
Next one, Jared.
Oh, am I doing the next one? Okay. For number 5, detailed execution scenes. For a game that's years old, Skyrim execution scenes never fail to make you pause with audible gawk.
Audible gawk.
Audible gawk.
Gawk.
Gawk. Sorry, do I need to say that with an accent?
I mean, you've got an accent already, it's fine.
Another lovely detail about this game is that when you hit an enemy with a killing blow, a cutscene follows, and the brutal execution of that said enemy plays out. Although you've probably seen worse, Skyrim's execution scenes are just amusing and brutal. Wait, what? Skyrim's execution scenes are just amusing and brutal to watch. Okay.
Yeah. Very clunkily written again, and also the screenshot they've used is missing the character's arm and weapon, which is putting me off. But
Well, it's behind their back.
Oh, it's the backswing?
no, it isn't.
It is.
There is no way their arm dislocates that far.
It does.
That's no.
That's
I'm gonna go throw
that's
up.
that's the one-handed decapitation. It goes way behind your back on the swing.
But you can't even see their right shoulder.
No,
And
because
it's like,
it goes that far back.
but the camera's on their right side technically.
I mean, their torso's front-facing. So
Just about, yeah, but that's
it's a full body twist.
But look at
that's
those.
impossible to do in real life.
But look at those
just to be clear.
cabbages.
On a previous part of the list, like we had broken spine sexy lady. So like,
Yeah, but that was
why not
modded
broken
in.
spine?
This isn't modded. I can tell.
Don't you try and pretend that modded versus unmodded is just impossible to tell the difference between. We know.
What do you? This is just an Oblivion mod, obviously.
Anyway, I think this is fine. The execution kill cams are a small detail.
Yep.
I'm willing to accept that. They are lots of fun. I enjoy them. The fact they've got different ones for different weapons and stuff is nice. I killed Grelod the Kind with unarmed recently. That's a lovely one to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Best entry of the list so far, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, one of my first big Skyrim series was kill cam montages for every weapon. Yeah.
Nice.
Didn't get watched very much, but I spent a lot of time on those.
Yeah, but that took a while.
It did. It sure did, especially getting enemies in the right position to execute them properly. And also, like, going through and looking at the ones that were actually cut content that the mod I was using actually added back in. Like the walk up and stomp on their head thing, cut content.
Yep.
Yeah. There's a weapon flurry one too with a one-hander where you just like flip around your weapon a whole bunch and confuse them and then slice them across the front. It's cool. I don't know why they excluded it. Probably because there's too much movement. I would guess it's actually that. Probably because you're pushing the enemy back too far. You could like go off a cliff. Something like that. But Sarge, I was watching your playthrough. You did one of the rare ones when somebody was downed and you stabbed them.
Yeah, I did.
In your Uniques
That was pretty
playthrough,
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, finishing them off like that. That's lovely.
Yeah. All right. Well, is it me next?
It's me, I think.
It's you next. Okay.
Yes. 4 out of 10 is diverse fighting styles. You might find yourself turning into a pure mage with a book of spells in your head, or you might find the class, shield, and sword more fitting. Either way, Skyrim doesn't limit how you wish to fight, and gives you the freedom to master any combat style you want. You can even be a ranged fighter and go for a bow-type weapon. Coupled with spells or shouts, you can practically go on a rampage against anyone in your way. So this is another core part of the game.
Yeah. That's not a small detail.
No.
This is
Have you ever heard of builds?
I'm sorry. How many do you have, Sarge? How big is your playlist?
Let me
Skyrim
check
builds?
the playlist. It's like 50, maybe 75, 500. Let's check it. 75 Skyrim builds I have published on my channel.
Just a couple.
Yeah.
I guess that's kind of an argument in favor of this, but again, it's not a small detail.
No.
because if it was, you wouldn't have that many videos.
It's a great thing about Skyrim, but it's very much front and center.
Yeah.
Like, it's a key part of the game. Imagine if you could only play Skyrim with one playstyle. Imagine Sword and Board was, like, the only way to play the game.
Yeah.
That completely ruins the entire game.
Yeah.
No, I feel like that's the key for, like, a small detail. Like, if you take it out, is the game still basically the same? And
not at all.
yeah, not in this case.
Yeah,
Like,
and they mentioned shouts too, which is like,
yeah,
you know, another layer on top of that too.
It's just a cool part of the game.
Mm-hmm.
All right, go on, Jared.
Okay, number 3.
Did we skip me?
No, it's not my turn. It's Caedo's turn.
Oh, Caedo, sorry.
Did you skip me, Sarge?
Sorry, I was gonna do Jared, then me, then Jared, then me, then Jared, then me, then you. I thought that was our running order. My mistake.
Well, dang it. I caught you this time, you whippersnapper. Okay.
Please.
Number 3 out of 10. Cities come in a variety. Cities in Skyrim are diverse, and not all are big, bustling, and grand. Go into Riften and get embroiled in dirty politics. Visit Falkreath and be greeted by the silence of death. If you're a fan of graveyards, this is a good place to settle down. That's not a proper use of semicolon. Weird cities aside, you can live in solitude and live in the high and prestigious life most Nords could only dream of. Every city is unique in layout, and even the locals of these cities vary in their treatment of you.
On one hand, we have small. On the other hand, we have cities.
Yeah.
I mean, technically the cities are small, relatively speaking. Does that make it a small detail?
Maybe?
Well, of course, with my previous thing, if you removed the cities out of the game, it would play exactly the same, right?
I mean, to a degree.
You just have, like, a flat field with a bunch of people in instead.
Yeah.
No buildings, people spread out a bit more. It's another huge part of the game. Not as big as, like, the core systems, but the only reason you two aren't also being as annoyed on me as this is that they've had such bad ones on this list, which are such core elements. But
Yeah.
if this came up as number 10, this would be like, what are they on about? Blah, blah, blah. But it's seeming almost fine in comparison to fundamental parts of the entire game.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's what's happening.
They
They're
could've
trying to
said-
trick us.
They could have titled this Things We Love, and it would have been fine.
Right. Or just straight up game details. Like, just remove the small.
Yeah.
Just remove the small. And this would all be pretty much okay, for the most part.
Mods fix your game, even.
We all know that. I'm getting tired of saying it because we all know it, Caedo.
Okay,
Come
what's
on.
number 2?
Number 2 is each dungeon is unique. Every single one, not one, is a repeat.
No.
Over hundreds of dungeons in the game, and all of them have their own unique stories and monsters. Discover entire ancient cities, like Blackreach, underneath that's spread throughout all 9 holes, with an extensive history involving the Dwemer, vampires, giants, frost trolls, and so much more. Enter Faldar's Tooth and feast your eyes on dog meat, which the chef apparently has been feeding to the other inhabitants. I thought it was talking about dog meat from Fallout. I was not okay with that. Go into the inconspicuous Pine Watch dungeon and find a tunnel that contains a settlement of bandits. And that's the end of that piece of article. Seemed like this should have gone on more, but
It should have. It's like they just lost their train of thought and moved on.
I can't. Well, I'm not the only one that had that thought.
Yeah.
I feel also it's a part of they're trying to do the pitch as every dungeon being unique. And, like, while that's technically true, the dungeons are all different. Most of them are very similar to other ones. Like, you're going to see a lot of repeated stuff. There's a lot of the same elements, a ton of the same enemies. If you're heading into a Dwarven ruin, you know you're going to find on the early levels the basic Dwarven war workers, some spheres, maybe some Centurions. Oh, there's Falmer on the deeper levels. It's
Yeah. It's not quite as bad as, like, let's say, like, Dragon Age 2. Kind of repetitive, obviously.
yeah.
Or Oblivion.
Yeah, or, yeah, Oblivion.
Oblivion, they do get repetitive. I think the variety of, like, how the dungeons look, like, I'm going to reference back to your playthrough because I've been watching it, Sarge. When you go with the stupid orc chief to that one cave, that's just gorgeous on the inside.
Yeah, that is a gorgeous cave.
Yeah.
That's the quest for Volendrung. Can't remember the name of the cave. Is it Chief Yamar's?
Yes, that's his name.
Chief Yamar's, yeah, you go to kill some giants, and there's a beautiful looking dungeon. I mean, I know why you pointed it out. It's because I literally stop the quest and just stare at the cave for a few seconds during my playthrough, because it looks gorgeous. And there are some of the unique places in Skyrim do look beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, saying each dungeon is unique is a stretch.
Yeah, a little bit. They have unique layouts, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's number one?
Oh, number one, something I'm very well acquainted with.
Oh my god!
Yep. Daedric Artifact Collection forces you to travel throughout Tamriel. Artifacts are acquired through quests. A great reminder that Skyrim is an open-world exploration game. By collecting all sorts of artifacts, from armor that eats away other people's flesh, to a staff that can be a weapon of mass murder, or mass laughter, looking at the Wabberjack here, your combat quality improves. The only way to get these surely amazing artifacts is through thoroughly exploring the game.
They should have linked my guide.
They should have linked my entire series.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been going through and getting the Daedric artifacts, and I mean, it does take you over lots of parts of Tamriel.
It does. It's the final number one is also not a small detail because, like, you will trip over a Daedric quest at least once or twice just playing Skyrim. So,
Like, I feel like it's smaller than a lot of the stuff they've done, but isn't really a small detail.
again, just title it as things, not small details.
Yeah. Like, everyone first time playing through Skyrim comes across Meridia's Beacon at some point. The Shrine of Azor is always pointed out to you. Like, a lot of the quests you do just bump into.
Yeah.
So,
Going to Falkreath, the guard literally stops you and says, "Have you seen a dog?"
Have you seen a dog?
Yep.
Yeah.
and the main quest actually sends you to Septimus Sigmus's outpost, where he'll set you up
Oh,
with
yeah.
the quest for the Ogmar Infinium.
Yeah, that's true. So even if you do the main quest, you can't escape it.
Yep.
Okay, well, I'm sure if we did this one with William Strife, yes, he would have had many things to say. But, yeah, this is a this is a list. It certainly is.
Yeah. It was 8 things we like about Skyrim, 2 also smallish details.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sums it up.
So, is there something we can name, just like off the top of our heads, that we would consider a small detail in Skyrim?
That you can use, like, the Light spell to activate traps. I'm forgetting the name of it.
Isn't it just
The
called?
spell which
Mage
shoots
Light.
a ball of light. Mage Light, that's what.
Yeah, you can light.
Yeah.
You can activate traps with it.
Yeah, you need to get, like, precise on the thingy, but there's some traps which you can activate with it, I'm pretty sure.
That is cool.
And, I mean, shooting the traps as well, but being able to, like, activate traps through, like, physics
Whoa.
is, I'd say, a small detail, which I really like about the game.
Shouting small animals to death.
Jeez.
Wow.
What?
I'm like, oh wow, this little magical system and physics interaction isn't that fun, and Caedo's like, I kill small creatures.
It's
for
my
fun.
okay. I just think of my tips and tricks for the anniversary edition, and that was the first one I included because it was so useful for people. Because you can shout butterflies and insects and other insects out of the air, and they'll just drop as their reagents. But you can also use Kind's Peace to shout birds out of the sky instead of trying to shoot them. Kind's Peace doesn't make any sense, by the way. Like, Like, it's supposed to make animals around you peaceful, not kill them outright.
I mean, nothing's more peaceful than death.
I guess you're right.
Quite poetic.
Yeah. But that's one of the ones that came to my mind. Also, just like alchemy in general. Like
That's not a small detail.
like Warcraft maybe? An aspect of alchemy, which is the eating of ingredients.
Okay, that I can accept as a small detail.
Anything come to mind, Jared?
Honestly, I think I'm like the worst one to ask that question to, because I haven't played like vanilla Skyrim, and I feel like all the mods that because like the only things that come to mind for me is like mods that add small details to the game. You know, because I'm one of those modders that likes, like, oh, I want this to be a certain way just because I'll probably never notice it, but knowing that it's there makes me happy, kind of thing, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Honestly, I can't think of anything off the top of my head that is technically a small detail.
I don't know, you can adopt a kid and bully them. That's a small detail.
So anyone who knows Caedo IRL, please talk to him.
I do.
Sit him down for a quick intervention.
I do know him IRL.
Oh, perfect, Jared. We'll let you do this on the podcast, then. Go ahead.
Oh,
Around 2
no.
weeks.
I think I'm busy that week, dude. I don't have
That's
any
so
small
funny.
children around, but I got animals, man. You're just gonna like you shout
No,
at my cat.
Kind's peace. Oh no, your cat's. It's supposed to make them peaceful. Avoiding the main quest could be like a small thing,
Yeah,
kind of writing that line a little bit.
yeah. I can see the pitch for that. Because I often do just avoid the main quest. Because
Or-
it's side stuff I'd rather be doing.
Yeah. Or like, while it's not required because it translates it for you, you can actually like slowly learn the dragon language if you want to.
They already kind of had that.
They kind of
I mean,
said
they
that,
went
but they didn't
way
say
too
dragons at
broad.
all. They didn't
No.
say.
They didn't.
Hey, look, sure, they were factually incorrect on half of it, but technically they brought it up.
Okay.
Just because they were wrong doesn't mean it's not there.
Okay.
I mean, super small, more precise detail about the books is I really like that standard books are very cheap, and spell tomes and skill books have a higher value,
Yes.
which makes it very easy to spot them just at a glance.
Without using them by accident.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's something I always appreciate.
Yeah. Oh, you can throw spiders at people.
What?
Yeah.
That's like
a
one of my
thing.
favorite things in Soulstime.
Oh, those little.
You can
The
make
spider
spider
scrolls.
scrolls, yeah. You're just holding a spider and you chuck it at someone.
Ugh. So
But they're like elemental spiders, so they like explode.
So let me
or
get this
run around
straight.
and-
you yell at animals, you bully children, and you throw spiders at people. Dude.
Yes.
Good to know.
Chaotic neutral.
Yeah.
No, don't tarnish us lovely chaotic neutral people with that brush. That's clearly on the evil side of things. You can't be like, oh, all my murders don't matter, I'm a neutral player.
I did it for money. Chaotic neutral. Yeah. I can't think of anything else.
Oh really? You've not got any peaceful ones?
No?
Maybe that you can watch the ants just crawl across the logs, small things like that.
Maybe I can punch Grandma and niece again. She's a hag, okay?
God.
She's trying to be a hag. She doesn't need her shack, okay?
Alright, well, Caedo, besides torturing small animals and avoiding the police, what else have you been doing?
Oh, he's coughing.
Oh dear, the
You
police
kill-
found him.
You killed him.
He's gone.
Oh.
Oh no.
You're killing me. Kill me over here. What I've been doing is I have been playing a lot of the Valheim Mistlands update because it's currently in beta or public test right now. And this is one of the rare occasions where I do try the public test, because I know Iron Gate has a ridiculous level of polish before they release anything. And my assumption was correct, because most of it just kind of worked. I was able to import my game, import my character, and just play the Mistlands update. There's like little things here and there, like I knew you played Valheim, Jared. Like you could pick up fish that were like on the ground, or whatever. Right now that's broken, but not essential at all. So they're gonna fix it, obviously.
You
but
could
like
say it's a
not
small detail.
it is a small detail, actually. But I can't really say too much about it, because the Mistlands is really cool, and I don't want to spoil it for anyone. Be prepared to die a lot. That's all I'll say. Oh, and fishing got a substantial update. The fish actually legitimately jump out of the water, so you can see where they are now. And there's a lot of different variants of fish, and different tiers of fish. So depending on the tier, determines like the amount of meat that you'll get to.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But that's just one little aspect. Like all the Mistland stuff with like the new gear, new items, new enemies, new boss, like so much stuff over in the Mistlands. It's just really hard and scary. And because we postponed for an extra week, over the last 3 weeks, I have released my Fallout 3 playthrough, the special roulette playthrough. And I, without bragging too much, I think this is my best Let's Play yet.
Nice.
I haven't done a playthrough of Fallout 3 for 7 years. And I mean, you're probably seeing it on screen because I have a lot of B-roll of it now. But I've just been going with it. Like, I haven't preemptively recorded this much at a time, probably ever. And had it like all edited and ready like 15 or so episodes in. I can't promise that I'll maintain that. Like it'll still upload and publish, on a schedule of Wednesdays and Fridays. But I'm enjoying it a lot. I didn't really say what it is. One of my attributes is 10, and the rest are 1, and it rotates every time I level up. That's special roulette. I do that with console commands, and I also it rotates via dice roll. So I roll between 1 and 7, and like that determines like what the next attribute is, and then I roll for what skill I put all my points into, and then I roll for the perk. Like it's all like super randomized. My build is going to be garbage. I already have several skill-based perks that are awful, and it's great. Like I said, I played Warhammer 40k Darktide. Not quite where I want it to be yet, so I returned it. And also, I wanted to mention, as a critter or fan of Critical Role, I listened to the Darrington Brigade one-shot, and I strongly recommend it. It is freaking hilarious and amazing, and everybody is playing a very different character than they usually do, and oh man, yeah. It made me laugh so hard all the way through. It probably helped me cough up some gunk while I was sick. So like, and if you're like overwhelmed by the Critical Role, like the main campaigns too, like the one shots that they do, especially this one, is like a great morsel for like getting into it. Like I sent that to Tifa, one of the people in our D&D group, for her to check out, because it is daunting seeing how long the campaigns are and how long each episode is.
Yeah, 115 episodes at roughly 4 to 4.5 hours, probably on average each one. You're
dedicating podcast time to to watch this performance unfold. But that's what I've been doing. Check out my playthrough Wednesdays and Fridays, noon and 10 a.m. Pacific. Jared,
me?
What have you been doing?
Oh, nothing.
Oh, that was fast.
Okay.
No. Well, I've been playing Spider-Man Miles Morales, Steam version, because I don't have a PlayStation 5.
Oh, bummer.
Which it works great. Ultra settings. I mean, it might as well be on a console, except it's not because it's on a PC, which is far superior.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm enjoying that. If either of you guys ever played any of the Spider-Man games? I know Shard hasn't because it's third person, so I'm not gonna asking you. Unless you have.
The PS4 that I got was the Spider-Man bundle one, so that was like the first PS4 game that I played.
Yeah.
And also, I played a little bit of Miles Morales. Like I have it on my PS5. I just haven't really. Other games have been on my PC that I want to play. So
yeah. No, yeah. It's good. It's if you liked any of the other ones, you'll like Miles Morales as well. It's more of the same, honestly, but it's just
Insomniac, man.
Yeah, it's just good fun.
Insomniac is just good at fun. Yeah. I think.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the Wolverine game. Oh my god, he's cool.
We'll see. They got a good track record so far, but yeah, I'm probably about 75% through it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So you're pretty far then.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like it's quite as long as the other games, like the other Spider-Man games. But there might be stuff after the game. Who knows? Anyways, other than that, I've been playing Pokemon.
What?
The new Pokemon games. I got the Scarlet edition.
What's the other edition? Just in case nobody knows what Pokemon is.
Violet. Duh.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. I went with Scarlet. Seems like everyone was going with Violet. So I was like, you know what? Screw all you guys. I'm gonna be different. So I went with Scarlet, and it's Pokemon. I mean, it needs no introduction. It's freaking Pokemon. You know, it is. I do have some gripes with it though. It's not well optimized. Like it feels like freaking a Pokemon game in early access.
Oh no.
Yeah, like I haven't had a lot of the bugs that I've seen a lot of other people have, like weird graphical bugs and glitches, like eyes popping out of the heads, and people just like growing to enormous sizes randomly and stuff like that.
You haven't fallen through the world yet.
I haven't fallen through the world yet, but I just like long distance rendering is really, if it looks like claymation. You can see a literal circle around your character about like 20 feet around you where the grass is rendering in.
Oh no.
It's pretty bad.
Just take out the grass at that point.
Yeah, I mean I'm sure they can fix it. I hope they do, because yeah, but it's a fun game. It's like I said, it's Pokemon. You're still running around, you're still catching Pokemon.
You're still catching them all.
You're still catching them all, and there's a lot now.
Yeah.
And then besides that, just playing Skyrim, modding it. I've got it looking.
I don't believe it.
Just if you could see me, I'm doing the chef kiss. It looks. It's taken me a few tries.
You should send me some B-roll so you can.
I will
send Skyrim too.
I will send something. I mean, I can send a little short thing that I actually already had. I can put it in the Discord if you want.
I was hoping like a longer clip, like okay. 20 minutes or 30 minutes or something like that.
It's not that long, but I could do something like that.
All right.
But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much been the most of my time, other than the odd horror game and whatnot that I do for YouTube and stuff. But I don't usually really count that on these that much.
Why not?
It's more. Those are that's like work almost. Like I like to mention the games that I play on my free time, just for me.
Okay. That makes sense.
But if you want to see some cool indie horror games, go over to jarredgaming.youtube something and a thing.
I think you should at least like plug the weirdest you played. Like just to give somebody a taste, a morsel of
the weirdest indie horror game.
The weirdest indie horror thing in one of the games that you played.
Oh my gosh, dude.
While you're thinking of that, I can confirm that typing in jaredgaming.youtube something it does bring up Jared's channel.
Yes, yes. I am living the dream.
Yep.
I'm living the dream. I don't know. I mean, I played a game recently about Garfield the cat. It, like, it was freaking crazy.
Is it some I'm sorry, John creepypasta?
It might be. I don't know. I didn't even know that was the thing.
It's a subreddit.
Oh God. Dude, I really.
I bet there's a GIF.
It would take me far too long to try to think of something like that. I played so many games. Not all of them are retained, so maybe I'll try to think of something for next PIPCAST. Okay. Oh my.
Quite a few of I'm sorry, Johns. Even GIFs.
for all I know, it's related to that then, because there's a lot of indie horror games based on like creepypastas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
great.
That's it for me. What are you up to, Sarge?
Well, like you, I've been playing Skyrim. It's been work related for me. People love those Skyrim challenge runs.
They sure do, Sarge.
Yep, and since the last PIPCAST, I think I've finished crafting only and started Skyrim purchased items only, where I'm only allowed to loot gold and have to buy everything I want to use, which has been a very fun, like, different way to play. Been very much enjoying that. I've also been doing what we referenced in the whole list thing, uniques only, where I'm aiming to collect all the Daedric artifacts, so I've been shooting through those quests. I'm currently on the Ogmar Infinium one. I've only got like 3 more artifacts to get, I think, so that's drawing to a close as well. So, new Skyrim series at some point.
Are you going to go for the skeleton key too?
No, screw skeleton
No.
key.
Okay, wow.
Technically, what I'm going for is the Oblivion Walker achievement. So all I need to do is get that achievement.
Okay.
And I'm successful, yeah. Because that gave me like a little bit of leeway, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
I also just finished like a Fallout 4 run. Yesterday, the final episode of Fallout 4 Survival Mode Power Armor Only will have gone up.
Ooh.
Yeah. And it turns out it's actually my first time beating Fallout 4 with the Brotherhood of Steel.
Oh, wow.
Which I thought I'd done, but clearly I've only like watched other people do. Because I got like the achievements for Blind Betrayal and Ad Victorium.
Oh, wow.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. So that's another Fallout 4 series that I've got sorted, and I'm quite proud of it as well, because Power Armor only has literally like no weapons in Power Armor.
Yeah.
And it's the challenge run which I feel took me the longest to get to a point where I felt fairly strong. Like, I was consistently being beaten by every single enemy for at least half the run.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, did that. And I also streamed the first of my retry series, where I'm going back and retrying failed challenge runs. I gave Fallout 4 Pipe Permadeath another go, because when I tried it in video format, I died on episode 2 to a bottle cap mine that just showed up somewhere where it hadn't shown up for me ever before in my 1,000+ hours of playing. So yeah, I gave that a try on stream, and then couldn't die because I was basically a god with a pipe. It was ludicrous. I was like, sweet, I made it past Starlight Drive-In. Well, now it doesn't matter too much. Let's see if I can go to Diamond City. I then got detoured and ended up in Bunker Hill, where I shot a bunch of friendly merchants, which, obviously, big bad move, but I survived, and everything was fine. So then I decided to join up with a railroad, because, why not? That'll probably get me killed. Nope, that's all fine. Okay, let's go to where the Brotherhood is. Let's go to Boston Airport. I've only got, 100 rounds between these 3 guns now. This has got to kill me. I make it to the final group of ghouls. I fight through all of Boston Airport, not even getting hit.
Wow.
Just dead-shotting every single ghoul every single time. Then a legendary glowing one, skull-marked legendary glowing one, shows up and I'm like, perfect. I unload the last of my ammo into it. I'm like, kill me now. And it runs away. It robbed me of a meaningful death.
Wow.
And I just had no bullets, so I had to start running around and gun bashing stuff until something was willing to kill me.
Oh my gosh.
It was ludicrous, but great fun.
That's funny.
Outside of work, though, I've also been playing My Time at Portia, which I beat. I've beat a lot of games recently.
Excellent.
My Time at Portia, I got the achievement for beating the final boss, and then you have to keep playing for quite some time before you hit the credit sequence, and there's more post-endgame stuff, so I'm still playing it because more quests still pop up.
Wow.
But it's got like a soft ending, a hard ending, and then just keeps going for however much longer. So I'm sticking with it for a while. Final boss fight in that, though, sucked because I ran out of stamina, which meant I couldn't attack anymore, and I had to wait for my allies, who do like 1% damage every minute or two.
That's the Eddie effect.
Yep. Had to wait for that, and it was a 3-stage boss fight, and you do not get stamina back, and I had no stamina regen items on me.
Oh.
So I just kind of left the game going for about half hour, 40 minutes, until they beat the final boss for me, because I could do literally nothing else.
Wow.
It was the most anticlimactic thing possible.
Wow.
Yeah. And finally, on the handful of times I've been on PC and had the chance to do non-work related stuff, I've been getting back into Total War Warhammer 3, because that's just a very fun game.
I don't believe it.
Fine. If you don't believe me, believe Henry Cavill.
He's got a trustworthy face. I'll give you that.
Yeah. He thinks the game's great, and
Yep.
he must be right on everything. Please don't do anything bad, Henry Cavill, please.
Besides leaving The Witcher 3? Or The Witcher
Yeah,
Netflix?
I mean, that sucks, but
Oh,
I'm not going to judge him too harshly for that.
Mm-hmm.
on that topic, if I may, I saw a video of someone talking. I think it was a podcast, and there's a petition going around to. Oh, what was it? It was like it's like 200 something thousand signatures for Henry Cavill for them to keep Henry Cavill as the Witcher and to replace the writers instead.
No.
Yeah, I was just like, dang.
I haven't looked into it, but I guess some people just really, really didn't like season 2. I thought it was okay.
I mean, apparently the reason Cavill's leaving is because of disagreements with the writers. From what I've heard, and this is only hearsay, Cavill wants things to stay more true to the source material, where the writers have been going more of a let's just do something new route.
Oh,
Yeah.
Go figure.
Imagine that.
So apparently that's where the kind of falling out and him leaving came from.
Creative differences?
Yes,
I thought
creative differences is definitely being used as the term.
I
can say.
I thought it was more like his time commitment split, because he's going to be...
That was like an official thing that was kind of led with a lot of stuff, with people saying, well, he's going to be Superman now, so he's not got any time. But apparently there were actually like fallings out between the writers and Cavill over some stuff.
Bummer.
How much of it is actually the truth, we'll never know. But
Yeah.
it makes a bit more sense than just time differences, because I feel like Henry Cavill, if he really wanted to, could manage both.
Yeah. I'm mainly just hoping that like the arc that got like greatly teased at the end of season 2, like I'm just hoping that finishes off in season 3. And then if the following season is not good, then like the Cavill arc is still like contained and nice.
Yeah. I mean, considering they're going with, I think it's Liam Hemsworth
Yeah.
as the person to take over, I really hope they'll just not focus on Geralt and like choose a different Witcher for him.
Or focus on Ciri,
Yeah.
because like
But
she's doing
basically,
her
I
training
don't
stuff.
want Geralt to show up.
Yeah.
Because that way...
I just don't want Geralt.
Yeah, I don't want Geralt. That way, Henry Cavill could stay there. If things work out in the future, he could come back. But I feel like if you're going with a new actor, you can't just be like, and here's Geralt, who looks completely different now.
Yeah.
Just accept it.
Yeah. Somebody did the comparison to like the Don Cheadle thing in the Iron Man franchise and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And I'm like, yeah, it's still jarring when you do that.
Yeah. I mean, with the Don Cheadle thing, that was like an ancillary character as well, not the main star
And not
of
the main
show.
character, right? Yeah.
It'd be more like if Robert Downey Jr. was replaced by like Robert Pattinson
Yeah.
after Iron Man 2.
Yeah. And then he'd be Batman and Iron Man. Iron Bat. the crossover we needed.
Well, that's our nerdy tangent for any loyal viewers who stuck around to the end.
Yeah. Long
Hope you
outro.
enjoyed
This.
that. You can find us. It'll take a lot of detective work, but you can find us, and I'm ready for the challenge. I'm waiting for you. Come at me.
Whoa.
Yeah, what he said.
Yep. Bye, everyone.
Take care, people.